Convention Association's ranking list, and its diverse member and association database. One of its objectives is to create a positive image about Africa and, of course, as a unique and inspiring destination for international meetings and events. Well, joining us now on the program to talk a little bit more about conventions is Rob Cameron. He's the director of the International Congress and Convention Association. Rob, it's good to have you on the program. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. South Africa, in terms of convention centres, I mean, the one we're standing in right now, world class. Are you happy with what you see?
Well, we had the opportunity with our own association. I'm with also the International Association of Convention Centres, and we held our conference in Cape Town July of last year. So I've had, in the last 6 months, the opportunity to see both Sandton Centre and the Cape Town Centre up close. And I have to say, on a world scale, they are very impressive facilities. I understand Durban is exactly the same in terms of the quality, and they will have no difficulty competing in the international market as it is today.
Yeah. When you talk about ratings and having a look at how you evaluate these different convention centres, what do you look for?
You're looking for a combination of the building itself, the flexibility, the technology, the space capability, the attractiveness. But even more important than that is the quality of the service and the level of the service. Delegates that are coming to these kinds of events are essentially living in these buildings, living in these facilities for a period of time. And it's very important that they feel comfortable, that they have the kind of service quality that's going to give a pleasurable experience not only to the delegates who are attending, but the comfort level to the organizers who want to know that everything is going to work, everything is going to be done well and effectively and properly. And we've seen that in both of the centers that we've experienced. And as I say, it's a very, very good sign to compete in today's market.
In terms of international buyers that come to South Africa, I mean, are they generally satisfied? Are there areas that we do need improvement on?
The biggest area that is probably going to determine the pace of growth in Africa is simply awareness of the product, and I think a level of confidence that the organizers are going to get what it is they need to make their lives comfortable when they're here. And that's all about reputation. Reputation isn't something you can buy, it's something you have to build. You build it over time. The organizer, community planner community is a very tight community. Everyone knows what goes on in facilities and destinations around the world. There's a lot of communication back and forth. So reputation is terribly important. And as I say, you have to build that. It's not something that just appears automatically. It takes some time, it takes some work. The reputation that's being built around South Africa right now is very strong, but it's going to be a long-term process.
You touched on a very interesting subject, and one thing that we keep talking about is the tourism that it brings when you have all these delegates coming, and they perhaps bring their wives and then maybe return with their families and things like that. That's one aspect, but there's a much bigger aspect to meetings. And I like your way of thinking. Just explain to the public the bigger picture in terms of how important having these huge internationals coming here and having their meetings.
Well, there has been a focus on the spending that delegates undertake when they come to a destination. And no question, that's a big factor. But the reality is that's not why the delegates are here. It's not why the meetings are being held. The real reasons that the meetings and conventions are taking place have to do with all of the things that drive economic growth and professional development. They are about knowledge transfer. They're about decision making. They're about investment. All the things that a country, in its broadest view of what it's looking for in its economic development policy, wants to see going on. So yes, there is an economic benefit associated with the event taking place and the spending associated with that, but what people are less aware of is that these events are drivers of economic development. They're not simply beneficiaries of it. And by having meetings, particularly in key sectors where a country is looking to develop its future, if you can attract the meetings that are related to those sectors, you're building your image and your reputation, you're bringing in expertise from all over the world, you're bringing in investment decision makers in those areas. So this industry is really all about economic growth and development in the largest sense, and only in a modest way is it about the direct spending associated with the events.
Thank you for talking to us. Very interesting, and I do think that's really the biggest issue here. Rob Cameron, who's talking to us from the International Congress and Convention Association. Thanks, and enjoy Meetings Africa.
Thank you very much.
All right. That basically brings us to the end of our broadcast here on SABC2. Remember, this is